your ruler.
Zod.
Your lands, your possessions, your very lives will gladly be given in tribute to me.
What's up, guys? I just saw this clip, and you know, I like Joe Rogan, but I don't like him enough that I watch his podcast anymore. I used to watch him all the time. Like, I watched every single episode of Joe Rogan Experience for like 10 years straight. But then once he moved to Spotify, I just kind of lost interest. I don't know if it was the extra effort of going to Spotify. I don't know if it was because they didn't have a video player, or I don't know if I just, sometimes you outgrow people. I don't know. But so now usually what I do is whenever I see, I still go to his channel on YouTube where he used to post his podcasts, and sometimes every once in a while I'll see a clip that I like or I'm interested in, and I'll just get the little excerpt of the conversation from the entire podcast, the pertinent part. But anyways, let's jump into it and react to it. This is about the Trump raid that happened, I think it was not this, I don't think it was this weekend, it was the weekend before last. Anyways, jump into it.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
What do you think is going to happen with Trump? What do you know about the raid, the FBI raid?
I have no inside knowledge. I don't know.
I mean, he calls
I
you.
think I think he did retweet us a couple times.
He retweeted me a couple times too. Hilarious.
He
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, the fucking president retweeted me.
I think that the people who are arguing that he's been given a ton of fuel, like they just poured rocket fuel in his engine, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, if you just look at the fundraising he's done off the back of this already.
Right, but what did they...
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't mean in terms of politically. I mean, like, legally. Like, what did they find?
Oh.
And is he actually in trouble? Because I think the goal was to try to knock him out of the 2024 elections, right? By
Big Mac
trying
receipts.
him for crimes. What did he do?
I don't know.
Do you know what he did, Jamie? Has it been absolutely released what they caught?
I don't know that yet, but holding on to boxes of documents.
Is it really about
he wasn't
like
supposed to have
confidential information that he shouldn't have
doubt
had
it.
in his home? That was
I
so
doubt it.
important they couldn't just ask for it. They
I
had to
doubt
go in
it.
there and get it.
Well, I think the problem is having it, right? Because if you have it in an unsecure location, meaning unsecure in terms of the government's protection, it's not locked up in archives. It's not in a place that's very difficult to access. You have control personally over the access to something that's top secret. If that's the case, then that's a problem, because that safe could be open. People can get in there. People can get the code. They can copy it. They can send it to China.
Yeah, but do you think that's a genuine concern, or is it they want to find something, anything that they can use to prevent him from running again?
I think both things are valid. I think if they're just doing that and they're using the FBI in a way that they would never use it against Hillary Clinton, and they're going after him in a way they would never go after Ghislaine Maxwell's client list.
Oh my God!
Then I think
there's no interest in that.
Right. Then we have a real conversation, but it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a real conversation about should someone have access. Now, I don't know what the files were. I have zero idea whether or not they were okay for him to have or declassified. I don't know. But I think the argument would be, if you're not supposed to, if there's a whole chain of command about.
They say that, oh, he had the nuclear codes. Bullshit. I highly doubt that. They did the same thing to James O'Keefe over Biden's daughter's diary. Something as innocuous. I say innocuous, but chances are there was something incriminating in there that they needed to get back. But over a diary, they illegally raided James O'Keefe. So you don't think they would come up with some trumped up, pun not intended, excuse of nonsense? They did the same thing to James O'Keefe. This is, I don't believe it for a second.
This is the law on classified documents, and you decide to violate that law because you think you can.
Right.
Like, I just wanted to keep them, and you just keep them in your safe. I don't know if that's what happened, but if that is what happened, someone needs to be held accountable for that. You're not supposed to do that, right?
Right.
You're not above the law, and you can't decide that you're not going to follow the law because you know better. right? And I don't know if that's the case.
I think where people lose, where they stop, where they don't care about that, is because they're like, okay, if you're going to be selectively enforcing laws like that and just turn a blind eye to Hillary deleting emails that have been subpoenaed and all of that, a blind eye to Hunter Biden trying to act like this is not a story until you're forced to admit that it is. It's the double standard that makes everybody say this is persecution.
For sure.
And so even if there was something that was done that was wrong, they're still choosing to be selective about going after him in a way that comes across as they're after him doing what they wouldn't normally do to someone on their own side. If it was Hillary Clinton's home, they'd have no interest in what's in her safe.
Because she'll kill them.
Yeah.
Jokes. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see both sides, though. I see the side that if you're an anti-Trump person and you find out that he's doing something that's against the law, you'd want to prosecute it for it.
Yeah.
I see both sides.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't know the specifics of the Hillary Clinton email thing in terms of like what those files were, but if they're the same classification of files as like he had, you could make the argument they were more vulnerable because they were on a regular laptop.
Well, and it's still destroyed after a subpoena. After a subpoena. I mean, imagine if Trump was subpoenaed for this information, and instead of handing it over, he burned it.
Right. That is where shit gets really squirrely.
Yeah.
It gets really squirrely. And it's like, what punishments are there for that? Is it zero? There's nothing. Nothing. Not a fucking thing.
Right.
And everybody's just like, you know what? Didn't she she has a hat for sale that says but her emails?
But her emails. She's
but not
capitalizing on
Good
it.
for
Rules
her.
for thee, but not for
But her
thee.
emails.
I wonder if
Special
like
treatment.
amongst people that are
Special
on the
rule.
right now, a black hat with white letters will get your ass kicked because you know, like the MAGA hat.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you could have a MAGA hat that said anything. Like I saw a lady get maced in the face because she had a hat on that said, it was a red hat with white letters that said "Make Bitcoin Great Again," and she was at one of those
Oh, yeah, I
protests.
remember
There's a
that.
video
I
of
thought
her
it was a
getting-
MAGA hat.
Yeah, and some guy
was
maced
like
her in the face.
In 2020.
Pepper sprayed her in the face because she had a red hat with white letters about Bitcoin.
That's assault, by the way.
It is assault.
that
Well,
was
that
a-
happened
yeah.
a lot at those fucking
Maybe it
anti-Trump
was
protests.
2019, I can't remember.
It's just the problem is that he was such a divisive character that he became a great enemy for the other side. He wasn't like a statesman who, like, you know, you could criticize his policies and his positions. You could say he's heartless, all you want, but he represents the United States in a statesmanly way. And like, no, Trump's, you know, he's a wild guy that like encourages people to hate him.
Do you
Like,
think DeSantis would demand or command more respect from the left in
the
those
left
shoes?
still hates him, but they don't hate him in the same way they hated Trump. They try to, but he's more reasonable. He's very like level in the way he talks about things.
He's firm, though. I mean,
Yes.
he's
But you know what I'm saying? Like he's not an insulting like character. Like Trump's a character.
right.
Like part of what he's doing is like doing comedy. It's like he's doing stand-up when he's up there. I mean, when he makes fun of Biden
Yeah,
and
he's
makes
so
fun of other
good at
people,
talking.
he's doing fucking stand-up.
He's so
he
good
really
at
is, and he
talking.
kills.
I don't even think he's trying. I just
got
think he's
this
being
thing,
himself.
You know, and that thing is like everybody who's with him is fucking really with him, and everybody's against him is really, really against him, and he like encourages it. You know,
I have the best
That
beard.
is what
Some
I
say
think
the
is
greatest
not
beard
good.
of all.
That part of it, like
Mirror on the wall.
I get where he comes from because like that's what made him, is the fighting against the haters, you know. But when you're a president, like that's a different role. That's
Yeah.
a different role than being the fucking host of The Apprentice.
Right.
And a lot of people hoped that when he got in there, he was going to abandon that and just be like common sense, get shit done. But no, he's on Twitter calling his ex-girlfriend a horse face.
Right.
Saying about Kim Jong-un, calling him Little Rocket Man. He's fucking wild.
What was it he said
dude.
about Rosie O'Donnell?
Oh yeah, didn't he call her a fat pig?
Something like
Something
that.
like that,
I don't
yeah.
even remember exactly what he said, but it was nasty. It was
Oh,
pretty
he
nasty.
says horrible
Yeah.
shit. He calls her a loser all the time.
Yeah,
But
and
the-
I mean, people think it's hysterical.
They do.
And they do have something like, but you know, the but her emails thing, but his mean tweets. You know, like he could sell shirts and stuff about that because it's like, you know, yeah, well,
Yeah.
a lot of people will say, yeah, I don't approve of his tweets. I don't
Right.
like his tweets.
No, a lot of
But,
people would say that.
Yeah,
a lot of people
on
are
the right will
conservative.
say that.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the right will say that.
This is where I think they have hope in DeSantis that he wouldn't do the same kind of things. He would never tweet things like that. He would
Right.
never call Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man. All that shit was hilarious.
It was funny.
He would never call his ex-girlfriend horseface. Like that kind of stuff is, you know, in many people's eyes, in a lot of conservatives' eyes, it's unbecoming of the commander-in-chief.
Beneath the office, yeah.
Yeah, that's the argument against it.
Okay. I appreciate you guys for watching that with me. I know that was a little long, and yeah, it's just crazy. Rules for thee, but not for me. All the time with politics, and getting crazy. It's getting old. It's I know they keep tossing this phrase around, but Civil War, you know, it's like the rules have to be evenly distributed. Otherwise, you end up with a Gestapo caste system and not a free country. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. I know there's never any complete balance in justice. You always, individually and as a system, we just got to do our best. There's no perfection, but at the same time, we are so fucked up right now. Anyways, appreciate you guys for watching. Like or dislike. Please dislike. If you don't like, dislike. Press that button. Dislike it. Alright? And subscribe if you want. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys.